Hey, you all, something just came up for me, and I thought I would put it on here and share it with you, as is my custom, because I love giving you insights and things that may help you along your journey too, like it's helping me. But I got a question for you. Did you know that people treat you at the level of your tolerance? Yeah. So, if there's some place in your life that you feel like you are not being treated fairly or correctly, or there's something wrong with the way you're receiving attention or something like that, keep that in mind. Because people only do with you what you allow them to do. What does that look like? Because everybody has a choice and a decision. So sometimes it looks like standing there, and I've done this before, long enough to hear the words coming out of their mouth, and then deciding, number one, to respond and not react. And that's a total difference. Because reacting means if you say something hurtful or harmful to me, then I'm going to say something harmful back because I'm reacting. Reacting means, it means you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. That's a reaction, a natural reaction to somebody that jumps out of you. You're scared, bam, bam. It's a reaction. It's natural. It comes from the amygdala, the back part of your brain. That's the animalistic part of your brain. Animals react. You're not an animal. So, responding means feeling the feeling, whether it's flight or fight or whatever it's going to be. In this case, fight. Feeling the feeling, allowing it to go from the back part of your brain, the animal part of your brain, through the limbic system, which is the part that you're feeling and your emotion. You're feeling it. Let it get all the way up to the prefrontal cortex, which is the executive part of your brain that makes decisions. That's why sometimes it takes counting to 10. You're listening to the information. I'm counting to 10. It's my custom to give a little smile while I'm listening. This does not mean agreement. This just means I'm listening. And at the same time, I'm telling myself, my smile is telling me, Queen, hear the information. See if there's any credence to the information, even though it hurts. And if it's information, sometimes it can be good information, but it's given in a way that's just not okay. Say, for instance, one of my children. I ain't going to call no names because it rarely happens to me. But say, for instance, it's one of your children. And they've just spoken to you in a way. The information may have been, some truth to it. Because they may be just displaying how they feel. Guess what? Everybody's entitled to their feelings. They get to have their feelings. But what if whatever was displayed, it was displayed in a way that just was not okay? It was below your tolerance level and the way it should have been said. So, say it's a case like this. You listen. You don't react because that's just stupid. Especially if you're talking to somebody you love. Because words, you can't get words back. Once they're gone, once they're out there, they're out there. They're not coming back. And yes, they do hurt. And yes, they can do grave damage. So, you listen. And if it's an intolerable way, this is what you do. And you turn around and you walk the other direction. That's what I do. Because what that's saying to the individual is, because what I'm really saying is, what you just said does not even deserve my attention. It don't even deserve it. Because the way you did that right there was just foul. And I'm not going to allow you to talk to me like that. I'm not going to stand here and listen to that. So, and you walk away. But sometimes you got to assess yourself and decide what you are willing to tolerate. What does that look like for you? Some of us may be tolerating a little bit too much because there's a certain amount of dignity that you need to have about yourself, darling. So when it comes to the place where you are constantly getting reactions from people or people talking to you a certain way, and then you go off to your corner by yourself after you let them, that's a problem. It may be a way of person, say in the dating scene, we're in the marriage scene, but let me stick with dating for right now. In the dating scene, it may be a person you're dating, but they're always late. They don't never call back, even though they say, I'm going to call you back. You know, they're not checking in, even whatever you've decided is your bare minimums for a relationship. And you get to decide that. So what if you've decided that and you've talked to the person about it, but they keep not doing how you want to be treated or what you're saying is okay for the relationship? Well, the other thing you got to get used to is saying the gift of goodbye. Nobody can do that for you. You got to decide to do it for yourself. You got to decide your minimums, and you got to decide how you want to be treated. You get to decide that. And understand, it's not enough to not address it and think it's just going to go away. Because people tell you who they are every day, darling. You just got to believe it when you see it. Even though you may want them to be doing or saying something different, you got to believe what is right in front of your eyes. I did a lot of years of not believing what was in front of my eyes. Don't do that. Don't do that. So pay attention to details. Pay attention to how you're treated. And if you don't like it, simply don't tolerate it. Now, if you're in a marriage, that could be a little bit different. Don't get your head knocked. Don't get knocked upside your head or nothing. I'm not talking about getting beat, because that's different. Don't tolerate that. Sometimes you have to give the person time to realize the new you. And sometimes within that time, they'll realize, oh, you're not going to let me do that no more? You ain't going to let me spend the night away from home no more? No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I'm really not kidding, because some people do that. That ain't funny. So don't allow people to treat you in any way you're not willing to tolerate. And while you're deciding what you're not willing to tolerate, darling, make sure that you're not dishing out anything that you're receiving back. All of that game playing, and I'm not going to call him for another 4 hours because I'm going to make him think I'm out. Just, amen. That's a whole nother subject. Don't do to people what you don't want done to you. I guess that is the golden rule, okay? It's a scripture too. Just don't do to people what you don't want done to you. Treat others like you want to be treated. That way, you can stand on your own 2 feet, sure-footed, and say, okay, this is what I'm going to tolerate, and this is what I'm not. I hope that helps somebody. I love you. Remember, you can either be pitiful or powerful, but choose one, because you can't be both. Mwah.